Hi guys, good evening. Welcome to our Thursday talk. Today we're going to talk about how to fight clean or how to fight fair in relationships. And I don't know if you've experienced like this, but I heard a statement that during this lockdown that we all recently either got out of or still are in, we that it really revealed the strength of the relationships of people. That strong relationships got stronger through this time, and relationships that already had cracks in the foundations just got worse and had really a bad time. And I thought that was a very interesting statement, and I think it's probably true. And I want to ask you, how are you doing in your relationships? How are you doing? But before we jump in this subject, just let me introduce myself. If you don't know me, my name is Joyce. I'm together with my husband. We are planting a church in Lisbon. And every Thursday, I like to bring subjects that are relevant for you and that help you in your spiritual journey of a disciple. And if you are listening or watching live or even in the replay, let me know where you're watching from. Just put down here so I can reach out to you and say hi. And yeah, feel free to interact with me. It's always nice. I'm just waiting a little bit to see if anyone's going to jump on live. It's always a bit more interesting when you're live, then we can actually have some interaction happening. But okay, let's go. So I like to start with questions. I guess this is because our pastor is also a coach, and coaches, they ask questions. So he's going to be really proud that we took that habit of asking questions. But I want to ask you, and this is not a question that you need to respond to me. It's something that you need to think about yourself. And I want to ask you, what has this time that we just are in still very much we're in, what has it revealed about your relationship? How strong is your relationship? How are the foundations of your relationship? Just think about that, ponder over that. Take this question with you in this coming week and just ponder about how are my relationships doing. And we're talking about relationships. This is not only for married couples, although it's all, I focus on married couples, probably because I'm married, but you can apply the tips that I'm going to give you to fight fair, to friendship relationships, to family relationships. You can apply it. So don't run away if you're not married. We are all in relationships, or we should be at least. Also, it's very lonely, isn't it? So let me know so that I can get a bit of idea who is listening, who my audience is. Let me know if you are married. Drop down a 1 if you are married. Drop down a 2 if you are dating and not yet married. And drop down a 3 if you are single. So it's just to know what my main audience is in my coming lives. It's always handy to know. But let's look at some tips that I got from listening to some podcasts from Lisa and John Bevere, and the founding pastors of Mosaic. And they had a conversation together, and they really shared some great tips that I would like to share with you in how to fight fair. Because let's face it, in relationships, there are tensions. At least there should be, because we're different people. And if there's never, ever a tension in a relationship that you're in, there might be things that you're not speaking about. So in relationships, there are tensions, and sometimes that leads to a fight. I don't mean physical fights, but you know what I mean. And we need to learn how to fight well, how to fight fair, and how to come to solution together and not stay stuck in the problem. And this is what I'm going to talk about today. So the first step that I want to give to you is, when you're in a fight, an argument, yes, that's the word I'm searching, to not attack the person, but the problem. The tendency is, and at least I have the tendency, I don't know if you do, but the tendency is to start off with like, you always do this, or you shift the problem to the person and the character of the person, and words like always or never are not good because they're not truths. And it really puts a lot of weight on what you're saying. So when you start attacking the person instead of looking at the problem together, then you start, you get in an accusation mode, and you don't set yourself up for an honest conversation here. But you will be accusing, the other one will be in defense, that you're having an argument with, and it's not gonna end well. So again, don't attack the person, but look at the problem. Don't speak things like you always do, but tell about what the situation is that happened and how it made you feel, how that reflected on you, and how you think the attention of the other person might have been, and ask for confirmation. Is that right? Was that your intention with this? Because sometimes some people are really bad in expressing themselves and don't intend to hurt you, but they just don't know how to say things in a nice way. So ask clarification. Look at the problem together. That's the first thing. Don't attack the person, but the problem. The second thing, you need to talk about issues that are bothering you. You cannot keep them inside, because if you do, you will build resentment towards the person. That doesn't mean that every single smallest thing that upsets you, you have to have a whole big conversation on. But it's important to let the other know what is, what is going on inside of you. And something that is really cool to have is to have at least once a week, or try to at least once a week, have a time that you catch up with. If you're married, with your spouse. If you're in a friendship, then it doesn't have to be that often, but of course, catch up with them and just have a talk about things that bother you. Like, have those open conversations, like, when you did this, that really hurt me, and go and find a solution together. So have those moments planned out in your week, that you have those open conversations to talk about possible issues. Talk about them when they're small. Don't let them grow big. And then it becomes such a emotional, and the emotions around it become so big that you don't even know why it bothered you in the first place anymore, because you can't really remember the details of it. Talk about it when it's fresh, and before it builds any resentment in you. The third thing, take time after the conversation gets too heated. I love that tip, and I'm really bad at applying it. Yeah, sorry to really be real with you guys, but Elvis and I, in our conversations and arguments, it doesn't always go fair. We have to learn still, and that's why we love listening to podcasts, reading books, going to courses if we can about marriage, about relationships, because it's so important to grow and to continuously re-look at how we are doing. And it's a growth journey. And this one thing I really need to practice still, but I love the idea that's given. So when the emotions in a conversation gets too high, and you notice that either you or your partner or the person you're talking with can't speak logical anymore, it's just emotion. You remember high emotion, low logic. When it gets really like that, it's better to allow each other some time out. And that practically means that you say, let's come back in an hour of time, sit here in the corner with some chairs, and let's talk it through. But right now, I need some time to just cool off. And then you both go in a different space. You give each other the space to just process a bit and to calm down. That is important to do. And it's important to allow the other to do that. If one of both of you says, I need some time out before we continue, allow the other to have that time out. give your best self to the other and allow the other to give their best self to you. That's one phrase I heard, and I love that. Giving our best self. And often we fail at giving our best self, but at least we continuously should try to give our best self. Like with all of these tips that I'm saying, it's not about perfection, getting it all right. But I just love to talk every now and then about relationships, because we all are in relationships, and it's good to be reminded and to continue to practice these skills, actually, of fighting fair. The fourth thing, don't stay hovering over the problem for too long. There's a time that you just have to, stop focusing on the problem and start working together towards a solution. And here it is like this. The problem is here, and you both are looking together to the problem. It's not the problem is here, you are here, and your partner is here, and the problem is in the middle. That's not a good way to look at the problem, because then you're opposites. And so see yourself like a team working together to find a solution, because our relationship is more important than winning the argument, isn't it? Our goal is to, at the end of the argument or the fight, is to come out stronger, to come out with solutions that help us both in the relationship thrive. So, that means that you separate the problem from the person. You don't see the person as a problem, like I mentioned before, and you are the team looking at the problem together. I think fifth, I didn't put numbers in it, so I think the fifth tip that we're at the fifth is allow each other to make mistakes. Allow the other person to make mistakes. And again, this I don't find easy. I'm what some people would call a perfectionist, so I don't leave a lot of space for mistakes, not for myself, not for my partner. And this is something that creates an atmosphere of tension a lot, and that makes people run around you uptight when you always now I'm thinking in Portuguese. Okay, when you always desire the best of the other, but like stronger than just desire it. If you know the word, just put it down here. Help me out, guys. But just give space to the other to make mistakes. We're not always going to get it right, and it's something that I still need to learn, that I need to grow in. I made progress, but I still need to grow more in this. And I just want to be honest with you, so these things don't overwhelm you, so that you can see that it's a growth journey, not perfection. So, and the last thing is love the other one with your complete heart. Sometimes there are some hurts from the past. Some people have fear of being abandoned because of what happened in the past, or other fears, and you fear that this will be repeated into the relationships that you start, either friendships or with your partner, your spouse, your children, and it keeps you from loving them with all your heart. It keeps always like a kind of a part that you keep hidden and safe, so that you're safe when the relationship breaks or goes wrong. You don't have lost everything. Like, it kind of feels safe, but it doesn't work like that in a relationship. You need to love with all of you, with your complete heart. And so there might be some issues that you still need to deal with from your past, so that you can love the other one more freely. So that's always good to ask the Holy Spirit, what issues are there still in your life? There are some great courses out there to help you go through those issues. And then with really serious things, it can be even good to have counseling to help you, because it may hinder you in the way you love people. So these were my practical tips on how to fight fair, how to love well. And let's just talk a little bit, because I still have a little bit of time, about what we can do to build the relationship. We talked about how we can have arguments in a positive way. Now let's look just a little bit about what we can do to build the relationship. And one big thing is do fun things together. Like I said, I mentioned create rhythms that keep you together. So rhythms are having these date nights that you talk serious, that you talk the issues that are the problems that you face with each other, but also have date nights that you have fun, that you do things that you both enjoy and makes you both feel like you flourish. And yeah, you know, like you're a cup that runs over. So get to know each other so you know what each one of you likes and what are the touching points that you both like, and plan those things. Hi, Christine. Yeah, thank you. Great to hear from you. And second thing, give each other the freedom to also have some me time. It's great to do things together. It's great to share so many things together. But like you might have experienced in the lockdown, we all need our personal space from time to time. So give your partner the freedom to have that personal space. And ask your partner, what would that look like for you? Like one of the things that my husband likes is to have a day in which he can just write on his projects, and he loves doing that. It makes him feel alive, and that means that I have to go out of the house with the kids, do something fun with the kids, so that he has that space. And then he also does things for me so that I can have my fun things. Like I can go out with my friends and have a coffee or something and then talk for hours. And then my husband takes care of the kids. So allow each other to have those soul fixes. Yeah, that was it for today. Serve your spouse. The focus is more on the other than it is on yourself. So yeah, let me know what you do for fun together, and if one of those tips on fighting fair is helping you, or if you're already applying something, let me know here. It's always great to share. So yeah, have a great evening, and see you again next week. Bye-bye.